Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Anuja Kumar with the Midday News. The headlines. Nationwide drive for free COVID precaution dose vaccination for people aged between 18 and 59 years begins. All-party meeting to be held tomorrow ahead of monsoon session of Parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Bundelkhand Expressway at Kaitheri village of Jalon district tomorrow. IIT Madras is the #1 higher educational institution in India. IISc Bengaluru is the best university in India rankings 2022. First phase of Common University Entrance Test undergraduate 2022 begins. In Sri Lanka, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe sworn in as the acting President, Sri Lankan Parliament, to meet tomorrow. Rishi Sunak wins the most number of votes in the second round of voting to succeed Boris Johnson as leader of Conservative Party and Prime Minister of Britain. In badminton, PV Sindhu storms into the women's singles semi-finals of the Singapore Open tournament. The 75-day COVID vaccination Amrit Mahotsav commenced from today to provide free precaution dose to all eligible population at government vaccination centres. The special drive aims to increase uptake for the precaution dose of COVID vaccine among the eligible adult population. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia said this special drive is part of the celebration for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 15 जुलाई से 75 दिन तक प्रिकॉशन डोज देश के सभी 18 एवं नागरिक को फ्री किया है। इस उपलक्ष्य में हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री के सभी एम्प्लॉइज को प्रिकॉशन डोज देने के लिए स्पेशल सेंटर चालू किया गया है। सभी लोग प्रिकॉशन डोज लगा रहे हैं। देश के सभी 18 एवं नागरिकों को मेरा आग्रह है कि आप भी प्रिकॉशन डोज लगाइए।
Member Health Niti Aayog Dr. V.K. Paul through All India Radio appeals to all people eligible for vaccination to take part in the drive.
From today onwards, the precaution dose will be available free at all government immunization centers. Precaution dose means those who have received the primary 2 doses, first and the second dose, and 6 months have elapsed since the second dose, are now eligible to receive the third dose of the vaccine. And this third dose now, called precaution dose, is now available free for all adults, 18 साल के ऊपर सब उम्र के, available free at government immunization centers, and please come forward because with time the capacity to fight COVID-19 infection with vaccination decline, and in order to boost that we need precaution dose after 6 months of the second dose. So please come forward for the next 75 days free precaution dose.
We have more about the vaccination drive in this report.
The centre has urged all states and union territories to implement COVID vaccination Amrit Mahotsav as Jan Abhiyan. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan expressed concern at the less percentage of uptake of precaution doses among population aged 18 years and above. He advised the states and UTs to organize special vaccination camps in the routes of Char Dham Yatra in Uttarakhand, Amarnath Yatra in Jammu and Kashmir, Kanwad Yatra as well as major melas and congregations. Mr. Bhushan advised the states and UTs to operationalize special workplace vaccination camps at big office complexes, industrial establishments, railway stations, interstate bus stations, inner schools and colleges. Vidyapen Kumar, Tripti Srivastav, AIR News, Delhi.
Labour and Employment Minister Bhupendra Yadav today launched 75-day COVID vaccination Amrit Mahotsav in New Delhi by taking the precautionary dose. During the campaign, citizens above 18 years of age will be given precaution doses free of cost at government COVID vaccination centres. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Yadav urged all the eligible citizens to get the free precaution dose. Over 199 crore 47 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. More than 18 lakh 92,000 doses were administered during the last 24 hours. A total of over 20,000 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the country during the last 24 hours. The Union Health Ministry said 16,994 people recovered during the same period. The recovery rate is currently at 98.48%. India's active caseload currently stands at over 1,39,000 and it is at 0.32%.
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has convened an all-party meeting tomorrow ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament beginning Monday. During the meeting, Mr. Birla will seek support of political parties to ensure smooth functioning of the House. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has also called a meeting of floor leaders of different parties in the upper house on the 17th of this month. An all-party meeting has also been convened by the government on the same day to seek cooperation from all political parties. The monsoon session will continue till 12th of August. The session is important given the fact that the presidential election and the vice presidential election will be held during this period. The presidential election will also be held on Monday, while the vice presidential election will be held on the 6th of next month. Indian Institute of Technology Madras has emerged as the best educational institution, while Indian Institute of Science Bengaluru is the best university in India rankings 2022, which were released by Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan in New Delhi today. According to the rankings, IIM Ahmedabad is the best management institute in the country, followed by IIM Bangalore and IIM Calcutta. AIIMS New Delhi is the best medical college and Savita Institute of Medical and Technical Sciences in Chennai is the best dental college. IIT Madras is the best engineering college, followed by IIT Delhi and IIT Bombay. Miranda House Delhi is the best college, followed by Hindu College Delhi and Presidency College Chennai. Jamia Hamdard is the best pharmacy institute in the country. Speaking on the occasion, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said 21st century will be the century of knowledge and innovation.
21वीं सदी को एक ज्ञान आधारित नॉलेज बेस्ड इकोनॉमी कहा जाएगा। इंडस्ट्रियल इवोल्यूशन 4.0 की अनफोल्डमेंट मशीन पावर से नहीं होगा तो नॉलेज बेस्ड इनोवेशन एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में होगा। हमें शिक्षा को अफोर्डेबल करना है, इसलिए भारत सरकार इस बार डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी की कल्पना किया है। बहुत सारे अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूशन ओडीएल की फ्रेमवर्क के अंदर अच्छे कोर्सेस भी चला रहे हो। शिक्षा को व्यवसायीकरण ना करते हुए लेकिन सामान्य विद्यार्थियों तक पहुंचाने के लिए हमें जो टेक्नोलॉजी की उपयोग करना चाहिए वो करना पड़ेगा।
Phase 1 of the Common University Entrance Test Undergraduate CUET-UG 2022 begins today in nearly 500 cities across India and 10 cities outside the country. Under Phase 1, the exam is scheduled to be conducted on the 15th, 16th, 19th and 20th of July. The National Testing Agency NTA highlighted that all examination centres are under surveillance of CCTV and equipped with jammers to conduct fair exams. It said masks will be provided to candidates at the centre and their personal masks will be disposed of. 8,10,000 students have been allotted for Phase 1 to take the exam. 6,80,000 students have been taken in the second phase, which will be conducted from the 4th to the 10th of next month. Delhi University will admit 30% extra students in the SC and ST categories and 20% under unreserved and OBC categories this year to fill the maximum seats in undergraduate courses in the first round of counselling. Talking to AIR News, Vice-Chancellor Professor Yogesh Singh said it will help in filling the reserved seats, which remain vacant throughout the year.
कई बार SC ST की सीट्स खाली रह जाती थी, तो अब इस बार क्या है, सेंट्रलाइज काउंसलिंग से एडमिशन होंगे। तो फर्स्ट राउंड में हमने सोचा है कि जितनी हमारी सीट्स हैं 30% एक्स्ट्रा स्टूडेंट्स हम एडमिट करेंगे SC ST और PWDB कैटेगरी के अंदर और 20% एक्स्ट्रा एडमिट करेंगे UR OBC और EWS कैटेगरी के अंदर। जिससे क्या होगा कि सेकेंड और थर्ड राउंड पे आते आते जो वैकेंसी जाएगी भी वो काफी इससे अकोमोडेट हो जाएगी और ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स को फर्स्ट राउंड में ही अपनी इच्छा का कॉलेज और
Mr. Singh spoke about admission through the Common University Entrance Test.
Suppose two students get same marks, then we will go for their performance in +2 examination. We will consider marks in the best 3 subjects. If they are same, then we will consider best 4 and preference will be given to the higher mark student. If it is still same, then we will consider 5 subjects, and based on the performance, higher mark student will be given admission. But if still both are same, then age will be considered and older in age will be given the preference.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Uttar Pradesh tomorrow and inaugurate the Bundelkhand Expressway at Kaitheri village in Urai Tehsil of Jalon district. More from our correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone of Bundelkhand Expressway on 29 February 2020. The work on the expressway has been completed within 28 months and it will now be inaugurated by the Prime Minister tomorrow. The 296-kilometer 4-lane expressway has been constructed at a cost of around 14,850 crore rupees. It can later be expanded up to 6 lanes as well. It extends from NH35 at Gonda village near Bharatkoop in Chitrakoot district to near Kudrail village in Etawah district, where it merges with Agra-Lucknow Expressway. It passes through 7 districts: Chitrakoot, Banda, Mahobas, Hamirpur, Jalon, Auraiya and Etawah. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Jalon.
Union Health Ministry today released guidelines for the management of monkeypox disease, asking international passengers to avoid close contact with sick people, including those with skin lesions or genital lesions. As per the guidelines, contact with dead or live wild animals such as small mammals, including rats and squirrels, and non-human primates, monkeys and apes, should be avoided. Eating or preparing meat from wild game or using products derived from wild animals from Africa should also be avoided. The ministry asked to stay away from contaminated materials used by sick people in healthcare settings or that has come into contact with infected animals. It has suggested people to consult the nearest health facility if anyone develops symptoms suggestive of monkeypox, like fever with rash. The guidelines also ask the people who have been in monkeypox reported area and in contact with monkeypox affected people to consult the nearest health facility. The high-level multidisciplinary team which has rushed to Kerala after the state reported the country's first case of monkeypox is holding consultations with the state government authorities in Thiruvananthapuram. The team will assist in instituting adequate public health measures to deal with the situation. Monkeypox was confirmed in a 35-year-old Kollam native who reached the state capital on Tuesday from UAE. Besides the patient, his close contacts, including parents and 2 drivers, have also been isolated.
The 7th anniversary of the Skill India Mission is being observed today. National Skill Development Mission, which is also known as Skill India Mission, was launched on this day in 2015. Skill India is an initiative of the central government to empower the youth with skill sets, making them more employable. A report.
The program has numerous benefits and its objective is to enable youth to take up training in order to secure a better livelihood. Over 1 crore youth are getting trained every year under the Skill India Mission. Under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, more than 1 crore 36 lakh youths have been trained so far. Over 11 lakh 28,000 candidates have been trained under Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushal Yojana and around 7 lakh people have got placement. With Dipend, Anupamish, AR News, Delhi.
The News Services Division of All India Radio will bring the next episode of our special series Jammu Kashmir Ek Nayi Subha in Spotlight tonight. This episode is titled Lok Kala, Lok Geet aur Lok Sangeet ki Anuthi Dunya and will focus on the various aspects of the folk music and culture from the region. This special program can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.gov.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. The News Services Division of All India Radio will bring an interview with Dr. Ajay Mathur, Director General, International Solar Alliance tonight. Vice President of India M. Venkaiah Naidu recently released a book, Modi at 20, Dreams Meet Delivery. The book is a compilation of 21 articles by 22 domain experts, bringing out various aspects of the thinking and performance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in various domains as Chief Minister of Gujarat and later as Prime Minister of India. Mr. Mathur, who contributed the chapter Environmental Sustainability and Economic Development, Convergence in Practice and Action in the book, discussed the themes of his chapter with AIR News and shed light on the important aspects of environment sustainability.
Under Prime Minister Modi, we have seen a huge emphasis, for example, on focusing on renewable energy and energy efficiency rather than on fossil fuel-based energy. This is an example of an option that on the one hand promotes economic growth because it is promoting the growth of energy, and on the other hand also promotes environmental conservation because we are looking at a much lower environmental footprint with renewables than we would with fossil fuels.
The interview can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Nationwide drive for free COVID precaution dose vaccination for people aged between 18 and 59 years begins. All-party meeting to be held tomorrow ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Bundelkhand Expressway at Kaitheri village of Jalan district tomorrow. IIT Madras is the #1 higher educational institution in India. IISc Bengaluru is the best university in India rankings 2022. First phase of Common University Entrance Test Undergraduate 2022 begins. In Sri Lanka, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is sworn in as the acting president. Sri Lankan Parliament to meet tomorrow. Rishi Sunak wins the most number of votes in the second round of voting to succeed Boris Johnson as leader of the Conservative Party and Prime Minister of Britain. In badminton, PV Sindhu storms into the women's singles semi-finals of the Singapore Open tournament. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
In Maharashtra, incessant rain, which continued for the last 4 days, has shown some respite in most parts of the state, although normal life is still disrupted in some parts due to waterlogging. But the heavy rain has also helped reservoirs in the state to regain their water level. A report.
People in Telangana state, especially those.
The situation in Maharashtra is improving as there was a respite from heavy rains in many districts of the state since last night. This has helped to bring back the normal life back on track and people are able to continue their daily routine which was halted for past 4 days. Panchanamas of farmlands damaged due to heavy rains are being done at many places including Yavatmal district and relief measures have gained momentum. Although waterlogging due to heavy rain and water discharge from dams has disrupted normal life in Nagpur, Kolhapur and in some other parts of the state. But the heavy rain has increased the water levels of most of the reservoirs in the state and many local bodies have been relieved which had enforced water cuts in their jurisdiction. Maharashtra has received 44% more rainfall than the average of the month of July. Almost all the districts have received excess rainfall except Sangli district. Shailesh Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
Goa received heavy rainfall since last week, throwing normal life out of gear, but the force has weakened since yesterday. Stormy rains were witnessed in some areas like Ponda, Sattari and other talukas. There was news about felling of trees, landslides and poles, thus disturbing traffic and closure of roads in some areas. In Telangana, the state authorities are sending additional relief and rescue material to Bhadrachalam as the flood fury in river Godavari continued to be grim. The river is flowing at 69.4 feet at Bhadrachalam in an unprecedented manner. Nearly 23 lakh cusecs of water is flowing down the stream. We have a report.
People in Telangana state, especially those in northern districts, have been relieved a bit as incessant heavy rains gave respite after a week time. However, the flood situation in Bhadrachalam is grim as river Godavari is flowing at 69.4 feet at the temple town, which is far beyond danger level. Hundreds of villages on the banks of the river have been inundated and about 20,000 people have been evacuated. 7 NDRF teams have been deployed in these districts that are facing flood fury. On the other hand, relief activities have gained momentum in the rest of the state following respite from heavy rains after about a week. Lakshmi, AR News, Hyderabad.
Many parts of Kerala received intermittent heavy rain this morning. The Met Department has issued a yellow alert in 7 districts in central and northern Kerala, indicating the possibility of isolated heavy rainfall. A report.
Several hilly regions of the state received heavy rainfall this morning, especially in Kozhikode and Wayanad districts. 183 families in Wayanad have been shifted to 15 camps due to heavy rains. The Kabani River is in spate. Entry of people into tourist spots and forest areas have been restricted. The hilly areas of Pudupadi, Adivaram, Kakkayam and Tiruvambadi in Kozhikode received heavy rain this morning. In Palakkad, 3 spillway shutters of the Kajirapura Dam were raised 60 cm each, following which the district authorities have asked those living along the banks of Kajirapura, Kundipura, Todapura and Bharatapura to remain alert. Damage to houses and agricultural crops has been reported at Nadatara and Cherpur in Thrissur due to strong winds. Raj Mohan, AER News, Kochi.
In Rajasthan, heavy rain lashed the western and southern districts of the state. The gushing water entered hundreds of houses in Sri Ganganagar due to continuous heavy to very heavy rain. The district collector has approached the army officials to drain the rainwater from Ganganagar town.
In Sri Lanka, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was sworn in as the acting president before Chief Justice Jayantha Jayasuriya a short while ago. He was sworn in after acceptance of the resignation of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. In Sri Lanka, Parliament Speaker Mahida Abeyewardena has said that Parliament will meet tomorrow as President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's resignation was accepted today. He said it was expected to elect a new president through Parliament within 7 days in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. In the United Kingdom, former British Finance Minister Rishi Sunak won the most votes in the second round of voting to succeed Boris Johnson as the leader of the Conservative Party and Prime Minister. According to media reports, Sunak came on top with 101 votes, followed by Junior Trade Minister and bookmakers' favourite Penny Mordaunt on 83 votes and Foreign Secretary Liz Truss on 64 votes. Attorney General Suella Braverman was out of the race with 27 votes yesterday.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter Durgabai Deshmukh, who was born on the 15th of July, 1909 in Rajamundry, Andhra Pradesh. A public activist for women's emancipation, she founded the Andhra Mahila Sabha in 1937. She was also the founder chairperson of the Central Social Welfare Board.
Seeds of social reform were sown early in Durgabai's mind, and she became conscious of the injustice suffered by women in all strata. Perhaps this was due to the fact that the social reformer Kandukuri Veerashalingam was a close friend of her grandfather. Durgabai met Mahatma Gandhi when she was just a 12-year-old. She had collected money for the nationalist movement along with a few volunteers, and when she came face to face with the Mahatma, she gave her gold bangles as well on his request.
This was a turning point which further kindled her spirit of selfless service and patriotism. A lawyer by profession, Durgabai fought against the system of child marriage and dowry and the harassment of widows in the name of customs, although she herself was married at the age of 8.
Durgabai was a persuasive public speaker and was imprisoned during the Salt Satyagraha. She came to understand the pitiable conditions of women criminals and wished to arrange free legal aid for them. This gave the impetus to the Free Legal Aid Center of the Andhra Mahila Sabha in Hyderabad, particularly to help unlettered women of all classes. Durgabai realized that lack of education impeded women's progress. This impelled her to lay the foundation for adult education programs, which were taken up by the government of independent India.
A member of the Constituent Assembly, Durgabai played an active role in drafting and enacting the Hindu Code Bill. Her efforts to elevate the status of women were evident in her involvement with parliamentary bills. In 1952, she was appointed a member of the Planning Commission. In 1953, she became the chairperson of the Central Social Welfare Board. In 1959, the government appointed her chairperson of the National Committee on Education. Durgabai received many accolades, including the UNESCO Peace Award, Padma Vibhushan, and the Paul G. Hoffman Award. She died on the 9th of May, 1981. AIR News salutes this great Indian.
We also remember independence activist Shankar Khuday, who was born on the 15th of July 1918 in district Sangli, Maharashtra. Shankar took part in the Quit India movement and was arrested on the 13th of October 1942 for his role in sabotaging the government's communications. He was sentenced to 18 months rigorous imprisonment. Serving his term in the Hindalga Central Jail in district Belgaon, Karnataka, he died in police custody in December 1942 on account of severe torture. We salute the brave son of the soil.
We also remember nationalist Sidhu Bhiva Pawar, who was born on the 15th of July 1902 in district Satara, Maharashtra. Sidhu Bhiva took part in the Quit India movement in Katav Taluk, Satara. On 9th September 1942, he joined a demonstration of more than 2,000 people under the leadership of Parshuram Gharge. Singing patriotic songs and shouting nationalist slogans, they marched on to hoist the tricolour on the court building. The marchers were stopped by police officials and, on refusal to disperse, they were fired upon. Sidhu received a serious bullet injury and succumbed in hospital on the 30th of September 1942. AIR News salutes the great
We also remember Indian National Army member Muhammad Khan, who belonged to the Punjab region. Initially a soldier in the British Indian Army, Khan joined the Indian National Army in Malay in 1942. He served as a soldier in the reinforcement group and fought the British in Burma and was killed at the battlefield on the 15th of July 1944. AIR News salutes the brave son of the soil.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
On to sports. In badminton, ace Indian shuttler PV Sindhu has stormed into the women's singles semi-finals of the ongoing Singapore Open tournament. Sindhu defeated Chinese Han Hui in the quarter-final match today. Saina Nehwal lost to Japanese Aya Ohori, while HS Pranoy lost to Japanese Kodai Naraoka in their quarter-final matches. The Sensex and the Nifty were trading almost flat in the afternoon trade. Both stock indices logged marginal gains amid positive global share markets trading in a narrow range. The Sensex was trading above 53,400 mark, while the Nifty was trading above 15,950 level.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Nationwide drive for free COVID precaution dose vaccination for people aged between 18 and 59 years begins. All-party meeting to be held tomorrow ahead of monsoon session of Parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Bundelkhand Expressway at Kaitheri village of Jalon district tomorrow. IIT Madras is the #1 higher educational institution in India. IISc Bengaluru is the best university in India rankings 2022. First phase of Common University Entrance Test Undergraduate 2022 begins. In Sri Lanka, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe sworn in as the acting President, Sri Lankan Parliament to meet tomorrow. Rishi Sunak wins the most number of votes in the second round of voting to succeed Boris Johnson as leader of the Conservative Party and Prime Minister of Britain. In badminton, PV Sindhu storms into the women's singles semi-finals of the Singapore Open tournament. And with that, we end the midday news.